Self-improvement yourself. James never planned to become an example of anything. On the morning this story truly begins, he was 32 years old, sitting in his car outside a warehouse on the edge of Cleveland, staring at a cracked windshield and wondering how his life had slipped so far from what he once imagined. The engine idled softly, but inside him there was only noise, regret, fear, and a quiet shame he never spoke about. He had dreams once. Now he had excuses. James grew up in a blue-collar neighborhood where survival mattered more than ambition. His father worked long hours and came home exhausted, his mother juggling bills and worry. Nobody talked about purpose or passion. You learned to keep your head down, do your job, and hope nothing went wrong. As a kid, James was observant and thoughtful, but also unsure of himself. Teachers said he had potential. Life said potential was optional. After high school, James drifted. Community college classes he never finished. Jobs he tolerated but never loved. Each year felt like a repeat of the last, just with more responsibility and less energy. By his early 30s, he was working nights at the warehouse, moving boxes under buzzing fluorescent lights, his body sore and his spirit numb. He told himself it was temporary. Deep down, he feared it was permanent. The lowest point came quietly. No dramatic explosion, no single disaster. Just a slow realization one winter night when he missed his mother's birthday dinner because he overslept after a double shift. Sitting alone with a cold slice of pizza, James looked at his reflection in the microwave door and barely recognized the man staring back. His eyes looked tired, older than they should have been. "Is this it?" he whispered to the empty apartment. For weeks after that, the question haunted him. He carried it through the warehouse aisles, into his car, into his dreams. He tried to drown it with distractions, late-night shows, junk food, scrolling endlessly on his phone, but it always returned. One evening, after another mindless hour online, James came across a video about discipline and personal responsibility. Normally, he would have skipped it. This time, something made him stop. The man in the video wasn't flashy. He spoke calmly about owning your choices, about becoming someone you could respect. "No one is coming to save you," the man said. "But that also means you're not powerless." James felt exposed, like the words were aimed directly at him. He closed the laptop, heart racing, and sat in silence. For the first time in years, he felt uncomfortable and strangely awake. Change didn't happen overnight. The next morning, James still went to work. The warehouse still smelled of dust and oil. His life still looked the same from the outside. But something subtle had shifted. He started waking up 30 minutes earlier. At first, just to sit quietly and think. Then to read. Then, awkwardly, to exercise on the living room floor. Push-ups, sit-ups, sweat pooling on the carpet. It was embarrassing how hard it felt. Some days he failed completely. He skipped workouts. He snapped at coworkers. He questioned why he was even trying. On those days, the old voice returned, telling him this effort was pointless. But another voice, weaker but growing, reminded him how empty he had felt that night with the cold pizza. James began to understand that self-improvement wasn't about motivation. It was about showing up, especially when he didn't want to. Months passed. The changes were small but consistent. He cleaned his apartment. He paid off a lingering credit card. He limited alcohol. He started journaling at night, writing honestly about his fears and mistakes. Some entries were angry, some hopeful. All of them were real. At work, he noticed he complained less. His posture changed. People didn't treat him differently yet, but he started treating himself differently. One evening, during a break, a coworker named Mike noticed James reading a book instead of scrolling his phone. "Since when did you get all disciplined?" Mike joked. James smiled, unsure how to answer. "Just trying to do better," he said. The words felt simple, but saying them out loud made them solid. Real. The biggest challenge came when James decided to go back to school online. Balancing night shifts, classes, and self-discipline tested him in ways he hadn't expected. There were nights he nearly quit, staring at unfinished assignments with aching eyes. Once, after failing a major exam, he slammed his laptop shut and sat on the floor, head in his hands. "I can't do this," he said aloud. Then he took a breath and opened the laptop again. What kept him going wasn't sudden confidence. It was pride, quiet, earned pride. Each time he chose effort over comfort, something inside him strengthened. He wasn't special. He wasn't lucky. He was just refusing to give up. Over time, his grades improved. His body grew stronger, his mind clearer. The warehouse no longer felt like a life sentence. It felt like a chapter. 2 years after that winter night, James stood in a small auditorium holding a certificate. Not a miracle, not a transformation montage, just proof of consistency. His mother sat in the audience, eyes shining, clapping harder than anyone. Afterward, she hugged him and whispered, "I'm proud of you." James swallowed hard. For the first time, he truly believed he deserved to hear it. James eventually left the warehouse for a better job. Not perfect, but aligned with who he was becoming. He still had doubts, still struggled, but now he understood something crucial. Self-improvement wasn't about becoming someone else. It was about becoming honest with yourself, then brave enough to act on that truth. That on a quiet morning, James stood by his apartment window, watching the city wake up. The same streets, the same sky, but a different man looking out. He wasn't a finished product. He was a work in progress, and proud of it. As the sun rose, James picked up his jacket, ready for the day. Not because life was easy, but because he finally believed he was strong enough to meet it.